One Piece, Thurman. My first question, I got to get into it immediately. Here's my thing. As a Sanji fan, the fact that we see Zoro's whole, we're seeing Zoro's whole fight conclude, and Sanji's fight got cut off. I was like, Oda, I see how you be.
That was actually so funny. I was like, Red's gonna be about that. Zoro gets the actual fight. This is actually so funny. So this chapter, man. See, my thing, I have no issues with it. Honestly, it just, I think my thing is, I think it felt too short for me. I think that's it. Because the thing is, I have no issues with it. Like, it's hard to say how I'm feeling when I don't really hate something or dislike something. Because there's actually some very great moments.
To me, I've always said this about One Piece. In any manga I've ever read, it does not need to be an earth-shattering revelation every chapter. And honestly, I think just because all these other chapters have been like a million fucking things happening each chapter, I don't need that in One Piece, Thurman. I like that we actually focused on, because Oda has this tendency to fucking hop back and forth between 30 different perspectives every chapter. I love that the majority of this chapter was just Zoro and what he was doing. I love that, and I want more of that. I miss that, chilled, let's follow one character for a couple chapters vibe that One Piece used to have. So for me, I loved it. It doesn't need to be I need a million things happening. I feel like you're letting your ADHD control you a bit too much. Enjoy the slowdown here, and enjoy the fact that we got the detailed, slowdown, legitimate fight with Zoro here.
Probably. And like I said, I didn't hate the chapter. I liked it very much.
Bro, there's so much to love about this. The fucking guy that keeps attacking Zoro, haha, you have an opening. And he's like, dude!
I hate this guy already.
No, it was kind of funny, though.
No, I hate him. I was so annoyed. Bro, let Zoro fight. What? Ugh. It was so
annoying. About that honor shit, bro.
Bro, it's just okay. You're clearly a fucking fanboy of the Sword Samurai guy. We get
That's true. Yeah, Ryuma probably wouldn't appreciate your fighting tactics.
But you see that Zoro's fighting to protect a child and a woman, and you still try to attack.
I
know. Fuck off.
I just loved Zoro. Get a fucking clue, man.
Oh my god.
No, but you can't. No matter how you feel about pacing, which I think is a little ridiculous. Honestly, I could argue about that with you for hours, because that's fucking stupid.
There's no argument.
We were just talking about this yesterday, about how it's let's slow down and see the whole fight. What the that's very fickle of you, Thurman.
Actually, again, I never said I had an issue with it at all. I'm just saying that I can't put it into words. I don't hate it. I don't think it's bad. I have nothing negative about it. It just caught me off guard. That's a bit of it. It caught me off guard.
I think you don't like Thurman as much. I can't speak. I think you don't like Zoro as much as you think you do. People always overhype Zoro, and then when it's focused on Zoro, they're like, "Oh, we forgot. Zoro's boring."
Not even that. It just caught me off guard. This chapter, just the whole. I don't know what caught me off guard, but I liked it. I'm happy that my boy stole the spotlight from Sanji as usual.
Well, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. I want to talk about one, Komurasaki's alive, duh, and we confirm it here. So that's interesting. So at some point, when this is again more shit that Oda skipped, Robin must have passed. I'm not even going to try to remember the laughing child's name. The laughing, creepily happy child over to Komurasaki, and she's running away from this guy. Now, this guy has been talked about before. In fact, when we first saw Zoro, I'm pretty sure he was being accused of being this murderer. And what I like about this, and I think this is a really clever concept, he masquerades as just a random serial killer when really he's killing people for the Shogun. I think that's clever.
I like that, actually.
Yeah, and his fighting style, where he just kind of has a scythe on both sides and spins like a fucking saw blade of death, that's pretty cool too.
And so, do you think that the Zoro ended the fight already?
Let's talk about the coolest fucking part of this entire that shit. He basically, it reminded me of Do you remember when Machi, I think it was, yeah. Okay, so Killua and Gon are caught by fucking the Phantom Troop, And then Killua tries to do his thing where he like gets his like claws on his hands and like just like basically he tried to like put his whole hand through Machi's stomach, but like Machi's muscles were like she just contracted her ab muscles so hard that like his hand was stuck in her fucking stomach. That's what it reminded me of. Zoro's just pulled a fucking Netero or Machi and was like, nah, this is mine now. I need 3 swords. That shit. And you can tell it's way heavier than his sword, so you can tell he's like putting it in his mouth. He's like, I need it. Onigiri.
Yeah, it's funny too because he's like, he's talking to this guy. He's like, I feel bad without 3 swords. I need 3 swords.
Yes, and that's so good for power scaling too because he was having like kind of trouble with him, and then it was like, oh yeah, it's because he doesn't have all of his swords.
That's so funny. I did like the Zoro stuff, right? So
what didn't you like?
Because I did nothing I didn't like.
Just
I like everything about.
Well, what do you rate this chapter number wise? Out of what?
I rated like an 8.
Oh, they're fucking. So because it wasn't like just orgasmically amazing, you're like, eh.
I mean, just like you said, every time it doesn't have to be orgasmically.
All right,
amazing.
That's fine. The way you were saying it made me think you didn't like it. I was about to be pissed at you.
No, I like this chapter. It just caught me off guard. That's all it is.
Okay.
Oda's been fucking.
You're not good at conveying that.
Piling on that. Well, that sounds like everyone else's problem, not my fault.
Yeah. That's such a fucking like psychopath way of looking at the world. Like, everyone else is the wrong one.
Yeah. They'll become like.
I hope that argument works out for you in court in whatever future murder you commit. He was the wrong one for not wanting to be killed by me.
I mean, he was in the fault for walking into my blade anyway.
I hope you just become an anime character in real life, Thurman. I know you wanted to train your kids to become one.
Train my kid. I couldn't become the main character, so I'm training my kid too.
You have to be.
Just at birth, just make sure his hair is like green or some shit like that.
Yeah. Dye is fucking sneak around your wife and like dye your fucking kid's hair green. Like, he's like a baby and you're dyeing his hair.
Bruh, that's so funny.
No, but other things. So the Big Mom situation mixed with the so basically they're still going over to the prison, and here's what I love about this. Here's what I love about this. Okay, they promised her that there was like some very particular type of food over there, and then Queen has a bunch of it.
Bro, I was like, what? Oh my god, Big Mom versus Queen fight? Is that happening? Is Oda hyping that shit up? Bro,
no, the battle of the foodies. The battle of the bitch, this is my goldfish.
Bruh, Oda's shipping it already, bro. Queen cross shipping. Big Mom.
Well, that's
bro.
Too,
you already know
like, Big Mom technically is kind of nerfed right now. So like nerfed Big Mom versus Kaido's like second strongest dude.
Bro, you already know that those One Piece fans degenerates are going to start drawing fan art of Big Mom and Queen already if they fight.
What, fucking?
Yeah, you already know it's gonna happen.
Disgusting.
They're gonna be like, oh, since they're both big, beautiful women and men, it's perfect.
I don't want to see that. Also, my favorite, I don't know what the translation was for you, but on Manga Stream, when they're like, dude, you've eaten like 5 bowls, and he's like, listen, food is like oxygen to me.
Yeah, I'm using Manga Stream too.
That shit fucking killed me. He's like, it's like oxygen to me. Okay.
So one thing I do want to point out is Luffy doing the same thing he did in Whole Cake, awesome. trying to boost his hockey.
I love that he's thinking back to when like Rayleigh did that shit. He was like, when Rayleigh did it, it was so gentle and there was no force put behind it. He was just like, bleh, and then everything was down. So like, I love that he's really thinking back to like what Rayleigh taught him, and he's like, I want to make it like Rayleigh. Ugh. And then fucking Hirogoro of the Flowers is like, Rayleigh? What the fuck?
It's crazy, man, because like everyone's like when is Luffy gonna get his awakening? Luffy's gonna get his awakening. Oda's like, no, he's just gonna get better at like using hockey.
Yeah, hockey.
Honestly,
awakening is gonna come at some point, but I don't know when.
Like honestly, I even doubt that Oda's really gonna give Luffy an awakening anyway. Like
No,
hockey,
that's a Chekhov's gun, buddy. There's no way. He'll get an awakening, but he might. I think Oda, like usual, he will do it in a subverting type of way. Like it won't be everyone's thinking like, oh, Luffy's gonna get awakening for Kaido. No, I think it'll probably be more of hockey boosts and like shit like that, and then maybe for Blackbeard he gets awakening. He's just gonna switch it around to where we don't expect it.
Yeah, he's mostly focused on hockey right now, which I like. Because Conqueror's
hockey and physical strength.
Yeah, Luffy's trying to better his Conqueror's hockey, which I actually really like. I've always liked hockey as a power system.
Me too.
Besides that one guy who said hockey wasn't good at all.
I think I've seen videos like that.
Yeah, that you and David argued on the Promised Neverland.
Oh yeah, well someone made the argument that hockey has actually made the One Piece battles less interesting because it used to be strategic based. Like for example, like without hockey, Luffy had to realize, oh, I need to use water for Crocodile. Without hockey, like basically the argument was One Piece battles used to be a lot more like JoJo battles, and now they're more just like DBZ-esque. Like, well, I'm going to use my special power against yours.
Well, that's bullshit because hockey has been a thing since the beginning of the series. It just wasn't really a thing because like Enel uses, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
And Crocodile. So
I think people just miss like the Luffy having to like find like wacky ways to beat his opponents.
He still technically does. It's just with hockey.
Sometimes. I like half get that argument, but it doesn't like make me not love the series. I mean, when you have a motherfucker turn into a donut and roll across a mirror world and then hit Luffy with a spiked mochi club, One Piece battles are still wacky.
It's like a weird thing to be upset about because hockey. Like I don't see like why hockey would take away the enjoyment of One Piece fights at all. Like, I guess I get the strategic aspect, but I mean, you expect him to do that all the time. He has to upgrade at some point.
Yeah.
That's like getting upset because he got gear second and gear third in his lobby.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's a fair point.
Like, without hockey, he would lose like 99.9% of the fights that he's in during the time skip.
No, I mean, you're right. I think people are just more saying like they miss the. Again, I don't really necessarily fully agree with it. I get the point kind of, but I think that people are just saying like they miss the creativity. I'd be curious on thoughts in the comments if you guys have any. Like that's the main point I've heard is that like they missed like the whole Crocodile-esque like let's find the person's weakness and go off of that. I think.
I mean, even then, Crocodile beat him because everyone says Crocodile lost the plot.
Huh?
I was like,
Crocodile beat Luffy like 3 times before Luffy finally beat him. Yeah.
So,
Luffy should have died when he fucking like hooked him through the chest in the middle of the desert for sure.
Yeah, well, let us know in the comments below what you guys think about that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
let's see. I guess other than that, I'm trying to think. I guess I would be curious on your because like mainly beyond that, it's just how badass Zoro was, and I appreciated like having an action chapter. Like it was just a nice cool down read, and I guess I just want to know your thoughts on Zoro's fight, what he showed, what feats he showed, and that final feat of ripping it out of himself and using his mouth to hit him. Oh, and I guess Zoro getting hit in general, that shit was pretty shocking as well. So yeah, I guess basically that's all else we have to talk about. It's going to be a much shorter video, obviously, because it's mostly fight, but I guess just any final thoughts on the action itself.
I enjoyed it. I doubt that this would be the end of the fight, though. It would be kind of a shame if this guy was fodder. Honestly,
you'd think. Yeah, I mean, he did basically imply like because Zoro was like, this guy's tough, which makes sense because I mean he was kind of he wasn't like just one shotting him, so he clearly is tough, and plus he's dealing with that asshole in the back. Now you gotta say though the fucking evil smile from Zoro, that shit was fire.
Yeah, definitely. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. How because I feel like with this it proves that Zoro can use any of his styles with any blade regardless.
Oh yeah.
One thing I do want to know if Oda's gonna make.
Remind me, correct me if I'm wrong, but like when I'm pretty sure at some point what happened? I know he was using his styles with Usopp was pretending to be one of his blades at one point. Remember that?
Yeah, back in the lobby. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
which was godly, by the way. And then also, I'm pretty sure at one point he stuck his swords in like big metal pillars to fight ores. And he did the same. So yeah, I mean, basically, I think Zoro is proficient with most weapons, honestly.
The one thing I want to know is will Oda do the whole, like, since it's not like my sword, Oda didn't, wasn't at full power, or was it like, regardless, as long as it has like a fucking sharp edge, I can use it? Because it was that thing that proves that Zoro can use almost any weapon as long as like blade related.
Well, I imagine it'll depend on this guy's weapons and if they are of good quality, because the Zoro has like some like high grade swords, and like what we do know is that matters. The higher the grade, the sharper, the more durable the blade, all that shit. So I mean, we saw him in the beginning of this arc use a tiny little fucking dagger to cut a building in half. So I mean, Zoro is at that level.
Because I would because did you see the Soul Eater fight that I sent to you YouTube?
Yeah.
Well, how the guy he threw his blades up and then he had him on the battlefield and shit like that.
Yep.
I would love to see Zoro just do that at least once. He's not him do it like the entire series, but I would love to see Zoro swooping around, picking up swords, fucking using like
that'd be cool if they were in like a sword graveyard with like a bunch of different swords in the ground and he's just like picking them up and shit. Like that'd be amazing.
Like that would be great. Honestly, I would enjoy that because it would be a test to, because Zoro's always had his 3 swords. Like he's a swordman that loves his swords,
Mm-hmm.
So it should be cool to be like, okay, well, I have all these swords around me. I have to make the best of it. Use fucking Lion Song and then switch back into like a 3-sword style. Like that would be fucking cool. I would like to see that.
I would too. Yeah. I mean, and again, this is the kind of shit that if the anime does it right, it would look much cooler in the anime. Like action is hard to portray in manga, and like it really only if you get really invested in the 2 characters is when like action can be like really, really fun in manga, because action will almost always be funner in the anime as long as it's done right. So I think that like that's why you're kind of like tempted to be like meh on this chapter, but like if this was an anime episode and it was animated well, it'd be like a hype ass moment, like ooh, Zoro fight, because Zoro fights have always been more about the spectacle and less about like character moments.
Yeah.
Which is why Sanji in the raid suit was way more entertaining, because Sanji be like,
yeah.
Last thing I want to say too is I do love, this is something I was hoping to see too, where Zoro tries to explain Thriller Bark to this guy. He's just like, well, the soul of someone else was in his body, but shut the fuck up. Okay.
That is so funny, actually.
It is, bro. And then other things I wanted to... There's a lot of cool things to mention where we get a little bit of Ryuma past, where basically Wano was like this golden, like, paradise land that, like, pirates wanted. I assume Marines wanted it, and he says nobles wanted it. And Ryuma was kind of like the guy that was so OP. He'd be like, nope, this belongs to the samurai, and anyone tries to fuck with our land, I'm going to kill you. So that's interesting to know about him.
Yeah, because... I would love to see, because,
we're going to see a Ryuma flashback, 100%.
Yeah, everyone's saying, like, oh, Zoro's master is from Wano. Well, I think we're starting to see a connection of some kind, probably.
Oh, definitely. I mean, Oda has confirmed in the SBS that, like, someone from the East Blue was from Wano. And so it's probably going to be, like, either his master or his master's master, or maybe, like, Kuina's parents. There could go down a lot of angles with that, for sure.
Kuina herself, and she died by falling on stairs.
That's how relevant. Do you realize people have like power scaled those stairs?
Those stairs have enough power to beat Goku.
I've seen so many fucking like videos where they're just like, listen, if Kuina's from Wano and she died by stairs, does that mean top tier samurai could be killed by just falling down the stairs?
Bruh, memers would have a field day. Oh my.
Kaido versus the stairs that killed Kuina. Go.
The battle. Oh, stairs.
He literally jumped from a fucking sky island, but if he fell down those fucking stairs.
Stairs soloed the Wano arc.
Yo, stairs.
That's the reason why Oda didn't put it in. That's why.
Yeah, Zoro brings a secret weapon. He's like, listen, I've been waiting all day, all fucking trip for this. He goes back to the Sunny, gets a chunk of the stairs. He's like, I brought this from my dojo. These are the exact stairs.
2 sword stair style.
It's so stupid. There's so many meme possibilities for sure. And then anything else though. But yeah, no, I mean, you know what I do? I did want to mention this, and I'm really happy about this. Something I think I'll be curious on your thoughts on this. I hope you can agree with me on this. But like, usually I would say that since the time skip, Zoro had lost a lot of his personality. Would you feel me on that?
In what way?
So I feel like so pre-time skip, he used to do a lot more like, you know, like reactions, like what, you idiot, you know, or getting kind of like flustered by how stupid Luffy is, or you know, or he would do the evil smiles more, and he would like laugh more, he would react more, right? But like a lot of post time skip leading up to Dressrosa has been a lot of just like very straight faced, very like, no, I'm gonna defeat you, you know what I mean? And I had felt like he had lost a lot of his personality. But I'm happy that this chapter, I really, because, you know, we've seen plenty of the evil smiles. We've seen plenty of the just stoic, I'm going to beat you, I'm a badass. What I really appreciated was Zoro's like, dude, get a fucking clue. You know, because that reminds me back of like pre-time skip Zoro, where he would like react to Luffy being an idiot, you know? And so I personally felt like he had lost a lot of that post-time skip. Like he had like really lost a lot of his personality in Oda's attempts to make him an extra badass. But now that I feel like I feel like he was a little bit more of himself in this chapter.
I agree with you to a certain extent. I feel like he was that in Dressrosa. There's a lot of great like moments in Dressrosa where he was like post time skip Zoro. I think in what the fuck is that? Oh, I always forget this arc.
Punk Hazard. Fishing Island.
Yeah. Punk Hazard, he had a lot of, not a lot, but he has some good moments there too. So I know what you're saying. I agree with you to a certain extent. I believe like after Dressrosa, he lost that. But
I just feel like he used to have a lot more personality. Like, you know, I'll give you an example. Like in Sky Island, when Usopp had like the Tarzan rope swing that he did, he was, you know, like no one expected it, but Zoro went up there and was like, like he did a Tarzan yell. Remember that shit? Like I just want to see more of Zoro like being funny and goofing off, because he doesn't have to be serious all the fucking time. That's all.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, no. Either way, I thought it was good, because I think he kind of showed a bit more personality in this chapter. Because like him turning around, being mad at that guy, being like, "Get a clue." It kind of reminded me of when Zoro and Luffy were fighting in. Remember that town where Zoro took down like fucking 300 assassins?
Yeah.
And then Luffy woke up thinking that Zoro was just being an asshole because they just fed them. You remember that?
Yeah.
And then, because remember, Luffy and Zoro fought each other, and then so they were fighting because Luffy was like, "Fuck you," they gave us food, and then Zoro's like, "You're not listening." So like that's the kind of Zoro I was remembering.
Best friend status.
Oh, by the way, I'm glad you brought that up, Erman. I'm very glad you brought that up. Go back to the cover page. Go back to that color spread. I just want you to take a look at who's right next to Luffy, you know, doing friend stuff, and who's as far away from Luffy as possible in that color page. That's what I thought. To me, it's clear that Oda thinks that they're the friends.
What do you mean doing friend stuff?
Look at, he's like, Luffy, oh my god, map, treasure, they're chilling, they're next to each other, and Zoro's over there at the fucking opposite end, facing away from Luffy. I'm just saying, I saw this color page and I was like, that Usopp Luffy friendship reaffirmed.
I'm highly tempted to turn on my camera and show you what you're doing right now. You are reaching for the star. You are fucking reaching for that moon just because Usopp is showing this man a fucking paper, and Luffy's like, "Oh, okay, cool." While Zoro is actually looking at the map too, bro. Cover photos. I'm a manga chapters always beat out cover photos. And
one last thing about the color spread we do need to clarify is that Robin's ass is just glorious. My god. Like, you know I've always been a boob man, but Oda's swaying me, bro.
Nah, fam. Nami's sitting there chilling. Nami's gotta go. Nami's boo-boos.
Sermon, if you diss that ass, I don't know if we can be friends.
Not dissing the ass.
It's just there, waiting to. They just get a little smackaroo, just like, you know. Oh, hold on a second.
Nut.
There it is.
Nut.
Oh, either way,
Robin is a very attractive woman, though. Like, no one can deny that.
Oh
It's
God,
like,
yeah.
like, Jesus Christ, that is a wifey material.
Yeah, that's just like not even waifu. That is just loving wife material.
Getting married on like
That's like I want to get married, move to a fucking beach house.
bro. Okay, quick question for all of our viewers and Red: what is the perfect marriage island in One Piece? Go.
Oh, okay. So if you get married, what island would you move to in One Piece?
Basically,
I
yeah,
gotta think about
like
that one.
perfect, like.
You put your answer in the comments. Meanwhile, for me, see, that's the thing. Whole Cake Island, the Tato Land, is not bad when Big Mom isn't freaking out. Because the idea of Whole Cake Island is you live there, you're under the protection of a Yonko, and shit's made out of food. That's kind of cool. But then you have the whole, Big Mom flipping her shit, so maybe not. Water 7 I like, but there's a huge-ass flood every year. You see, you can find something about that for every One Piece island. Fucking other islands, I don't know. Yeah, I'll think on that, and I'll be curious on people's thoughts. But yeah, that's good for me. I guess predictions, if any, Thurman?
I think, did we already get predictions or no?
I mean, you just were saying that you thought that the fight can go on a bit longer, and I hope it does.
Yeah.
But you can't be mad when a million things doesn't happen.
I'm not gonna be.
Bruh, I'm triggered.
Good. I said I was caught off guard. Yeah. That's the easiest I can say it. And with that,
I thought you were gonna say more.
You stopped talking. Bro. You stopped talking, so I was like, "Oh, he's gone." So let's.
And with that.